Good morning students, today we are going to explore the fascinating life of Charles Dickens, one of the greatest novelists of Victorian era, which began in 1837 and ended with Queen Victoria's death in 1901. So Charles Dickens' novels have captivated readers for nearly 2 centuries and his influence extends far beyond just literature. So in this video we are going to discuss everything about his life, his biography, his works and whatever he has written. But before beginning this video, if you are one of those students who are preparing for UGC NET, CUET or GATE in English literature, then do not worry about anything. We are here to provide you the complete guidance, study material and everything that is required for you to crack any competitive exam in literature. Visit limitlessliterature.com to know more about our books and courses, and or else you can drop a message on our official WhatsApp number. And now let's dive into Dickens' extraordinary world and discover how a boy from humble beginnings became one of the most famous writers in British history. So Charles Dickens was born on February 7th, 1812 in Portsmouth, Hampshire. So his grandfather was a domestic servant, but his father became clerk. John Dickens, his father, who worked as a clerk in the Navy Pay Office. His father was really paid well, but the problem was he was really extravagant. Whatever he gets as his salary, he used to spend all of it. So because of his father's habit and poor money management, it created a lot of serious problems for the family. And whereas we have Charles Dickens, who was young, who used to spend a lot of his time reading books. He loved reading books, of course, the Arabian Nights, Robinson Crusoe and the works of Henry Fielding. All these works have influenced his later work, what he has written in the Victorian period. Also, he developed the love for theatre at an early stage. So it was the time when he was only 10 years old. Now, when Charles was 12 years old in 1824, his father John Dickens finally caught up with the financial crisis and was sent to a debtor's prison. Okay, so it is a sort of prison who cannot pay the loan. In the back early days in the Victorian period, people were sent to prison for not paying the money. Due to this, all the family members of Charles Dickens, his father, his mother, his brother, sister and everyone had to live in the prison. But now what happened was, Charles Dickens was 12 years old and he was sent to work in a shoe blacking factory. He used to paint the labels on bottles, okay, for 10 hours every day. So this experience was deeply traumatic for him. He was from a good family, his father was paid well, but now he was poor and only 12 years working in factory. And the same influence we can see in his novels, particularly we can see in David Copperfield and his novel Little Dorrit. We can also see the theme of child labor in his other novels like Oliver Twist. But yes, after a while his father was released from the prison and the whole family lived again, and Charles even started going to school. But his formal education was ended when he was only 15 years old, and after this he started working in some good professions. Okay, he tried different professions, for example law clerk from 1827 to 1828, court reporter from 1828 to 1831, parliamentary reporter from 1831 to 1834, and at last journalist. He worked there for 2 years for the Morning Chronicle and wrote under the name Bose. Actually, Dickens didn't initially plan to be a writer. He actually wanted to be an actor and even selected for big auditions. Okay, so but his health was not so much good, so he was not able to give the auditions at that time. And after that he started writing. He continued to work as a journalist for newspapers and all those things. Okay, so Dickens wanted to be an actor and he was a remarkable performer also whenever he goes to meet his readers. In his later years, when he publishes novel, he used to perform his character, the characters from the novels in front of the audience. He rehearsed all the characters for many days and he performs. He used different voices, different gestures and performs all his novels on the stage. And the great thing is that there was a huge crowd who used to gather around to see him. Okay, and even people have to sleep overnight for the tickets so that they can get the opportunity to see the popular Charles Dickens. So in 1833 he began publishing stories under the pen name Boz, B-O-Z. Okay, so actually his younger brother nickname was Moses, M-O-S-E-S. So but if you are suffering from cold and fever, you pronounce the word Moses as if you are speaking Bozes. Okay, so if you are suffering from cold and fever, Moses become Bozes, and if you shorten the word Bozes, it will become Boz, B-O-Z. His first collection was sketches by Boz, but he gained the popularity after the publication of the Pickwick Papers in 1836. So in the beginning it was only 400 copies that were sold, but later it was 40,000 copies. Yes, 40,000 copies that began to sell every single month. So from here his literary career began. Almost all the novels of Charles Dickens were published in installments. You see, like modern day TV serials by Ekta Kapoor. So what happens in TV serials is that it comes every day at a particular time. So it keeps the audience engaged. What is going to happen next? So every day audience come and watch the TV serials. So the same way we had the novels of Charles Dickens, because in 19th century there was no televisions, so people used to get entertained only through novels. So Charles Dickens used to publish his novels in installments. Okay, so even not only in Britain but countries like America, people from America used to wait for these serialized stories. Even his popularity in America was more than Britain, so he was treated like a modern day rock star in America. His hairstyle and the way he speak and the way he used to dress was really famous at that time. He was a celebrity of his time, and he used all the novels as a serialized form. Almost all the novels was published in installments. So Dickens wrote 15 novels and numerous short stories, each showcasing his brilliant characterization and social commentary. His major works include Oliver Twist, 1837. It exposed the brutal treatment of workhouse children. The second one is Nicholas Nickleby, which he used to criticize the Yorkshire schools' abuse of children. The next one is A Christmas Carol, written in just 6 weeks. And the next one is the autobiographical work David Copperfield, which talks about his personal journey from childhood to adulthood. The next one is Bleak House, a sort of satire on the legal system. Then we have Great Expectations, published around 1860-1861, exploring the themes of wealth, class and moral redemption. At last we have A Tale of Two Cities, his great historical novel about the French Revolution. Of course, he has written a lot of novels, 14-15 novels. You have to remember all the novels for your UGC NET examination in chronological order. I have only mentioned the popular novels what he has written in this video. In 1836, Dickens married Catherine Hogarth. Yes, they had a good relationship in the beginning. Even they had children, almost 10 children they had with each other. So their marriage was not happy later on, and in 1858 he separated. Okay, so it became a scandal at that time. Charles Dickens was in relationship with another woman, that was Ellen Ternan. So she was 27 years younger than Charles Dickens, but they shared a good bond with each other, and Charles Dickens remained in relationship with her until his death in 1870. So in the year 1865, Dickens was involved in a serious train accident. There was a train carriage which was left hanging over a bridge. So now here Dickens started helping the passengers, and even he rescued many passengers who were traveling in the train. He was also out of danger at that time. He came out of the train, but what happened was he was carrying the manuscript of Our Mutual Friend, and this manuscript was in the train. So he went back into the train to save his manuscript. So this is a sort of a traumatic experience for him. After this incident, he developed a fear of train, and it was a shock for him, of course. The incident happened in 1865, and from here his mental and physical health started declining. He continued with his writing routine and kept on performing in the public for the next 5 years until his death on June 9, 1870. The last novel was The Mystery of Edwin Drood, which remained unfinished. So he still have great influence on people. His novels never gone out of print. Even after 200 years, his novels still sell today, and over 200 movies have adapted his works. His stories like A Christmas Carol influenced how we celebrate, how the European countries celebrate the Christmas. So you see what happens on Christmas Day in European countries: jingle bells and Christmas trees there. People create a lot of festivals, a lot of lights. Santa Claus is there, of course. So it is all influenced by the works of Charles Dickens. You see how much influencing he was at that time, and his novels still continues to influence what happens in the society. So Charles Dickens' work remained relevant because he wrote about timeless human experiences, the struggle between good and evil, and the power of redemption. Of course, he has written A Christmas Carol and other novels also. He talked about the importance of social justice, and that makes sense even today. So he just showed the literature can become both. Literature can entertain, it can also change the world. So when we read Dickens today, we are not just reading stories, we are connecting with the storyteller, who is Charles Dickens, and who used his incredible talent to show the human condition and fight for a better world. Almost all his novels is a sort of social reformation. His novels made people better human beings. His ability to combine humor with serious social criticism create unforgettable characters. Of course, and these characters continues to inspire readers and writers around the world. So remember, students, Charles Dickens' journey from factory worker to world famous author shows us the talent, the courage to speak the truth is the most important one, and his legacies is not just in literature but in the way we think about social justice. The laws, the reformation, just we are studying in the colleges, in the schools, are somewhere influenced by Charles Dickens' work. Alright, so try to remember all these points because it will help you to remember the works written by him. And also if you are someone who are preparing for literature, for UGC NET, for any competitive exam, you can join me and I will be personally guiding you how to crack all these exams. Alright, so I hope you liked watching the video. Please let me know in the comment section below if you want me to continue this series also. I will be pleased to create more such videos in the future. I will see you soon in the next video. That's it for this. Thank you.